My son took a 23andMe test for school and it revealed my brother is his real father. My parents knew for 8 years and now they're selling their house to pay me back everything I spent raising his kid. I found out my son wasn't mine because his 8th grade science teacher emailed me a congratulations message about his genetics project. Subject line: amazing family discovery. You must be so proud. I wasn't proud. I was sitting in my office staring at an attachment that showed my DNA wasn't connected to the kid I'd raised for 13 years. The kid who looked like me. Who had my laugh. Who called me dad. The 23andMe results showed a different truth. My brother Jason was his biological father. Let me back up. My wife Lauren and I got married when we were 24. Young, in love, the whole thing. We'd been trying for a baby for 2 years when she finally got pregnant. I cried when she showed me the test. Actual tears. We were going to be parents. Nathan was born 9 months later. 8 pounds, 6 ounces. Perfect. He had my nose, or so everyone said. My mom said he had my eyes. Lauren's sister said he had my chin. Everyone saw me in him because everyone wanted to see me in him. I never questioned it. Why would I? Lauren was my wife. We were happy. We were building a life. Nathan was our son. Except he wasn't. The genetics project was for his 8th grade biology class. All the kids had to do 23andMe tests to learn about ancestry and hereditary traits. The school sent home permission slips. I signed it without thinking. It was just a school project. Educational. Fun. Nathan spit in the tube. Mailed it off. Waited 6 weeks for results. When they came back, his teacher was so excited she emailed both me and Lauren separately with the results attachment and a note. Nathan made an amazing discovery about his family tree. The DNA shows some unexpected connections that led to a fascinating genealogy project. He's so excited to share this with you. I opened the attachment at work. It was a family tree Nathan had made, connecting all his DNA matches. At the top, Nathan Harrison. Below him, mother, Lauren Harrison. Father, unknown. Then a note in Nathan's handwriting. My 23andMe showed my dad, Mark Harrison, isn't my biological father. But it showed a 24.7% match to Uncle Jason, which means Uncle Jason is actually my dad. I asked Mom about it and she said we'd all talk tonight. I'm not mad. Just confused. I read it 3 times. Then I called Lauren. She didn't answer. I called again. Voicemail. I called Jason. Straight to voicemail. I called my parents. My dad answered on the first ring. Mark, let me explain. You knew? Silence. Dad. Did you know Jason is Nathan's father? Son, this isn't a phone conversation. Did you know? Yes. We knew. I hung up. Sat in my office. Stared at the wall. 13 years. 13 years of bedtime stories and little league games and teaching him to ride a bike. 13 years of being dad. And everyone knew. Everyone except me. I left work early. Drove home. Lauren's car was in the driveway. So was Jason's truck. So was my parents' SUV. They were all sitting in my living room. Waiting for me. Like an intervention. Lauren on the couch, crying. Jason standing by the fireplace, looking at the floor. My parents on the love seat, my mom holding my dad's hand. I stood in the doorway. How long have you all known? My mom spoke first. Mark, please sit down. How long? Lauren looked up. Her eyes were red. Since Nathan was 8 months old. 8 months. He was 8 months old when she told them. When they all decided to lie to me. For 13 years. You've known for 12.5 years that Nathan isn't mine, and nobody thought to tell me? We were trying to protect you, my dad said. Protect me? From what? The truth? Jason finally spoke. It was one time. One mistake. We were drunk at your bachelor party. My bachelor party? You slept with my fiancé at my bachelor party? It wasn't like that. Then what was it like, Jason? Explain it to me. Explain how you slept with my wife-to-be, got her pregnant, and then watched me raise your son for 13 years without saying a word. Lauren was sobbing. I didn't know I was pregnant when we got married. I found out 2 weeks after the wedding. I thought he was yours. I wanted him to be yours. When did you know he wasn't? When he was 8 months. He had a fever. We took him to the ER. They did blood work. The doctor mentioned his blood type was O negative. You're A positive. I'm B positive. It's genetically impossible for us to have an O negative child. And you didn't tell me. I told your parents. I told Jason. We all agreed. You all agreed to lie to me for 13 years. My mom stood up. We thought it was for the best. You loved Nathan so much. We didn't want to take that away from you. You didn't want to take it away? You already took it. You took my whole life and made it a lie. Nathan is still your son, my dad said. You raised him. You're his father in every way that matters. Except biologically. Except he's actually my nephew. Except my brother got my wife pregnant and everyone decided I was too stupid or too weak to handle the truth. I looked at Jason. Where's Amy? His wife. She doesn't know, he said quietly. Of course she doesn't. Because you're all so good at keeping secrets. Does Nathan know you're his real dad? We told him this afternoon, Lauren said. After he got the 23andMe results. He wanted to tell you himself tonight. But then your parents thought we should all be here. To manage me. To control the narrative. To make sure I don't lose it and ruin your perfect little secret-keeping club. Where's Nathan? Upstairs in his room. He's scared, Mark. He thinks you're going to hate him. I walked upstairs. Nathan's door was closed. I knocked. He said, come in. He was sitting on his bed, laptop open to the 23andMe website, looking at the Family Connections page. He looked up when I walked in. His eyes, my brother's eyes, now that I was looking for it, were wet. Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't know the test would. I sat down next to him. Put my arm around him. You have nothing to be sorry for. But I ruined everything. No. You didn't ruin anything. The adults ruined it a long time ago. You just found out the truth. Are you mad at me? I could never be mad at you. You're my son. That hasn't changed. But Uncle Jason is my real dad. No. I'm your real dad. I've been your dad since the day you were born. Biology doesn't change that. He hugged me. Hard. The way he used to when he was little and had nightmares. I don't want things to change. They won't. I promise. But I was lying. Everything was already changed. I went back downstairs. They were all still there, waiting. I looked at each of them. My wife. My brother. My parents. The people I'd trusted most in the world. I want everyone out of my house. Now. Mark, we need to talk about this, my mom started. There's nothing to talk about. You all made your choices 13 years ago. Now I'm making mine. Get out. Lauren stood up. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Hotel. Your parents. Jason's place since you're apparently so close. But you're not staying here. You can't kick me out. This is my house too. Actually, it's my house. I bought it before we got married. It's in my name only. And I'm telling you to leave. Jason stepped forward. Can we at least? If you say one more word to me, I'm going to hit you. And I've never hit anyone in my life. But right now, I'm about 5 seconds from breaking your jaw. So leave. They left. All of them. My parents tried to hug me on the way out. I stepped back. Don't touch me. When they were gone, I went back upstairs. Nathan was still on his bed, scrolling through DNA matches on his laptop. Just you and me tonight, buddy. You want pizza? Can we get the one with extra cheese? Yeah. We can get whatever you want. I ordered the pizza. We ate it in his room, watching YouTube videos about basketball, not talking about the bomb that had exploded our lives. He fell asleep around midnight. I covered him with his blanket and went to my room. I didn't sleep. I sat on the edge of my bed and calculated. 13 years of child support I shouldn't have paid. 13 years of medical bills, school supplies, sports equipment, birthday parties, Christmas presents, clothes, food, summer camps, family vacations. I pulled up Excel and started adding. By morning, I had a number, $287,000. That's what I'd spent raising my brother's kid while everyone lied to me. I called a lawyer at 9 a.m. Explained the situation. She said I had grounds for multiple lawsuits. Fraud. Emotional distress. Paternity fraud specifically. She said I could sue Lauren, sue Jason, possibly sue my parents for conspiracy to defraud. What do you want to happen? She asked. I want my money back. Every cent I spent raising a child that isn't mine while everyone lied to my face. That's fair. That's actually very reasonable given the circumstances. I filed for divorce on Monday. Requested full custody of Nathan based on Lauren's documented pattern of deception. Filed a separate civil suit against Lauren, Jason, and my parents for paternity fraud and conspiracy. Requested $287,000 in damages plus legal fees plus emotional distress. The local news picked it up. Man sues family for paternity fraud after 13 years. It went viral. Reddit threads. Twitter arguments. TikTok explainers. Everyone had an opinion. Half the people said I was right to sue. The other half said I was punishing an innocent kid, that biology doesn't matter, that I'm his real dad regardless. But they weren't there. They didn't watch everyone they loved lie to their face for 13 years. They didn't get a cheerful email from a science teacher congratulating them on a genetics project that revealed their entire life was a fraud. Jason called me crying. Begging me to drop the lawsuit. Said he'd pay me back but suing our parents was too far. They were 68 and 65. They couldn't afford a $287,000 judgment. I said, you should have thought about that before you slept with my fiancé. Lauren called me screaming. Said I was tearing the family apart. Said Nathan was traumatized. Said I was being cruel. I said, "You tore this family apart 13 years ago. I'm just sending you the bill." My parents tried to visit. I didn't open the door. They left a note, "Please don't do this to us. We're sorry. We'll make it right." I texted back, "See you in court." The court date was set for 6 months out. In the meantime, DNA tests were ordered. Official ones. The kind that hold up in court. They confirmed what we already knew: Jason was Nathan's biological father. I had no genetic connection to the child I'd raised. Lauren moved in with her sister. Jason moved into an apartment. His wife Amy filed for divorce the day she found out. She called me once, crying, saying she was sorry, saying she had no idea. I believed her. We were the two idiots in this story. Nathan stayed with me. The court granted me temporary full custody based on Lauren's deception. He asked me once if I still loved him now that I knew the truth. I said, "Nathan, I have loved you every single day of your life. That will never change. But it doesn't mean I'm going to let the people who lied to us get away with it." Are Grandma and Grandpa going to be okay? That's the question I couldn't answer. Because my lawyer said based on my parents' assets, the only way they'd be able to pay a $287,000 judgment would be to sell their house. The house they'd lived in for 35 years. The house they'd planned to retire in. I didn't care. I wanted them to feel a fraction of what I felt. The preliminary hearing was brutal. My parents showed up with their own lawyer, looking 10 years older than they had 6 months ago. My mom cried the entire time. My dad stared at the table. Their lawyer argued that my parents acted out of love, trying to preserve the family, that they shouldn't be financially destroyed for a mistake made in good faith. My lawyer argued that lying for 13 years isn't good faith. It's conspiracy to commit fraud. And fraud has consequences. The judge scheduled a settlement conference. Required mediation before trial. We all sat in a conference room. Me, my lawyer, Lauren, Jason, my parents, and their lawyers. A mediator asked what resolution we were seeking. My lawyer said, full restitution. $287,000 plus $43,000 in legal fees. Total $330,000. Split between the three defendants however they choose. Jason's lawyer said he'd pay $50,000 over 5 years. That's all he could afford. Lauren's lawyer said she'd pay $30,000 over 10 years. She had no assets. My parents' lawyer said, my clients have $45,000 in savings. They're prepared to offer that plus $100,000 from a home equity line of credit. But that will put significant strain on their retirement. My lawyer said, that's $195,000. We're asking for $330,000. The mediator looked at my parents. Is there any way to increase your offer? My dad spoke for the first time. We'd have to sell the house. It's worth about $425,000. After paying off the mortgage and the equity line, we'd have roughly $280,000. We could give Mark $235,000, which with Jason and Lauren's contributions would equal $315,000. We'd be short $15,000, but it's the best we can do. Everyone looked at me. My lawyer said, Mark, that's a strong offer. I'd recommend. They have to sell the house? My dad nodded. We'd have to. We'd move into a rental. Somewhere small. I looked at my parents. My mom, who'd taught me to ride a bike. My dad, who'd come to every single one of my baseball games. The people who'd raised me, loved me, supported me my entire life. Who'd also lied to me for 13 years about the most fundamental fact of my existence as a father. I need to think about it. I turned down the settlement. Told my lawyer to proceed to trial. My parents' lawyer requested another mediation. I declined. They wanted to drag this out, wanted me to feel guilty, wanted me to drop the suit. I wasn't dropping it. The trial was scheduled for 3 months later. During that time, Nathan asked questions. A lot of questions. Dad, if you win, will Grandma and Grandpa have to sell their house? Yes. Where will they live? I don't know. An apartment probably. That seems sad. They made a choice, Nathan. They chose to lie. Choices have consequences. But they were trying to protect you. No. They were trying to protect themselves. If they'd told me the truth when you were 8 months old, I could have made a decision. I could have chosen whether to stay or leave. They took that choice away from me. Would you have left? That's the question I'd asked myself 1,000 times. If they'd told me the truth 13 years ago, would I have stayed? Would I have raised Nathan anyway? Or would I have walked away? I don't know, I told him honestly. Maybe. But at least it would have been my choice. The week before trial, my mom called. First time she'd called in 4 months. I almost didn't answer. Mark, please. I'm begging you. Don't take our house. You should have thought about that before you lied for 13 years. We made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But we can't lose our home over it. Your father's health isn't good. The stress is killing him. Good. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, I don't recognize you anymore. This isn't the son I raised. Yeah, well, Nathan isn't the grandson you thought he was either. Guess we're all full of surprises. She hung up. Jason called next. Different approach. Mark, I know you hate me. I deserve it. But please don't destroy our parents. They don't deserve this. They knew, Jason. From the beginning. They helped you and Lauren cover it up. Because they love you. Because they didn't want to see you hurt. So instead they let me live a lie for 13 years. That's not love. That's control. What do you want from me? You want me to say I'm a piece of shit? I'm a piece of shit. I betrayed you in the worst way possible. I slept with your fiancée. I got her pregnant. I watched you raise my son. I'm a terrible person. I know. So what's enough? When does the punishment end? When I'm broke. When mom and dad are homeless. When Nathan looks at you like you're the villain. Nathan already looks at me like I'm the villain. But I'm the only one telling the truth. Truth isn't always more important than family, Mark. It is to me. Trial started on a Wednesday. The courtroom was packed. Family, friends, reporters, people who'd followed the story online. My parents sat in the front row behind the defendant's table. My mom looked like she'd aged 20 years. Lauren testified first. Her lawyer tried to paint her as a victim. Young, confused, scared. Made a mistake at 23 and spent 13 years trying to make it right by being a good wife and mother. My lawyer tore her apart on cross-examination. Showed timeline after timeline of her deception. The bachelor party. The pregnancy. The blood type discovery. 13 years of actively lying. Did you ever, at any point in 13 years, consider telling your husband the truth? Every day. But you didn't. No. Because you knew if you told him, he might leave? Yes. So you chose to lie to protect yourself? I chose to lie to protect my family. Your family. Including your husband, who deserved to know the truth. Lauren started crying. I was trying to do what was best. For who? Not for your husband. Not for Nathan. For you. Jason testified next. Admitted everything. The affair. The pregnancy. The cover-up. His lawyer tried to frame it as a one-time mistake that spiraled out of control. My lawyer wasn't buying it. You watched your brother change diapers for your son. Watched him wake up at night for feedings. Watched him pay for everything. And you said nothing? I didn't know how. Didn't know how? Or didn't want to? Didn't want to lose your family? Your reputation? Your comfortable life where someone else raised your child? I was scared. So you let your brother spend 13 years and $287,000 raising your child while you lied to his face? Yes. My parents testified together. My dad did most of the talking. Said they'd been put in an impossible position. Lauren came to them when Nathan was 8 months old, terrified, begging for advice. They'd counseled her to tell me. She refused. They threatened to tell me themselves. She threatened to take Nathan and disappear. We were afraid we'd lose our grandson, my dad said. We were afraid Mark would leave Lauren and we'd never see Nathan again. So we made a choice. A choice we regret every day. My lawyer asked, in 13 years, did you ever reconsider telling your son the truth? Many times. But you didn't. No. Why not? Because the longer it went on, the harder it became. Because we knew Mark would react exactly like this. Would feel exactly this betrayed. And we couldn't face it. So you prioritized your own comfort over your son's right to know the truth? My dad looked at me. Actually looked at me for the first time in months. Yes. We did. And I'm sorry. I testified last. My lawyer asked me to detail everything. Every expense. Every moment. Every lie. I told them about Nathan's first steps. His first word. His first day of school. Every baseball game, every birthday party, every Christmas morning. Every moment I believed I was his father. Every moment they'd let me believe it. How did you feel when you found out the truth? Destroyed. My whole life, everything I thought I knew, was a lie. The people I trusted most in the world had betrayed me in the most fundamental way possible. And what do you want from this lawsuit? I want them to understand there are consequences for lying. I want my money back. Every cent I spent raising a child that wasn't mine while everyone lied to my face. Even if it means your parents lose their home? Yes. The courtroom went silent. Lauren's lawyer cross-examined me. Tried to make me look cruel. Heartless. Vindictive. Mr. Harrison, you claim to love Nathan. Yet you're willing to make his grandparents homeless? I'm not making them do anything. They made their choice 13 years ago. I'm just presenting the bill. Don't you think you're being punitive? I think I'm being honest. Something none of them were with me. Nathan calls you dad. You raised him. You love him. Doesn't that count for something? It counts for everything. That's why this hurts so much. They let me fall in love with a child, let me build my entire life around him, knowing the whole time it was based on a lie. So you're punishing them for trying to preserve your relationship with Nathan? I'm holding them accountable for lying to me for 13 years. The trial lasted 4 days. Closing arguments were brutal. Lauren's lawyer painted me as vindictive. Jason's lawyer called me unforgiving. My parents' lawyer said I was destroying the family over money. My lawyer said, "This isn't about money. This is about truth." Mark Harrison spent 13 years living a lie because the people he trusted most in the world decided he couldn't handle the truth. They made that decision for him. They took away his choice. And now they want to avoid the consequences. But consequences matter. Truth matters. And Mark Harrison deserves restitution. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. They found in my favor on all counts. Awarded me $287,000 plus $62,000 in legal fees. Awarded damages split evenly between Lauren, Jason, and my parents. My parents each owed $116,000. They'd have to sell the house. They'd have to. The verdict was announced on a Friday. My parents cried. My mom actually collapsed. The bailiff had to help her to a chair. My dad sat next to her, holding her hand, looking at me with an expression I'd never seen before. Disappointment. He was disappointed in me. After the verdict, my lawyer said, "You won. Congratulations." I didn't feel like I'd won. I felt hollow. Nathan was with me in the courtroom. He'd insisted on being there. When the verdict was read, he looked at me and asked, "Are you happy now?" "No." "Then why did you do it?" "Because it was right." "It doesn't feel right." He was 13. He didn't understand yet. Maybe he never would. My parents listed their house 2 weeks later. Sold it in 3 days. Market was hot. They got $441,000. After paying off the mortgage, the equity line, and the judgment, they had $67,000 left. They rented a 2-bedroom apartment across town. I drove past it once. It was small. Run down. The kind of place people live when they've lost everything. My mom had to go back to work. She was 65, had been retired for 3 years, but now she was working part-time at a grocery store. My dad couldn't work. His heart problems had gotten worse from the stress. He was on permanent disability. Jason moved to another state. Got a job in Colorado. Paid his portion of the judgment over 5 years through wage garnishment. I heard he got remarried. Has a daughter now. He never asked to see Nathan. Lauren still lives with her sister. Works 2 jobs to make her payment plan. I have full custody. She has supervised visitation every other weekend. Nathan goes, but he doesn't want to. He's angry with her. Angrier than he is with me. The money came in installments. $116,000 from the house sale. $50,000 over 5 years from Jason. $30,000 over 10 years from Lauren. I put it all in an account. Haven't touched it. Because Nathan was right. It doesn't feel right. I won the case. I got my money. I held everyone accountable. And I'm more alone than I've ever been. Nathan barely speaks to me. He does his homework, eats dinner, goes to his room. We don't watch movies anymore. Don't play basketball. He's polite. Distant. Like I'm a stranger he's forced to live with. Last month he asked if he could live with Grandma and Grandpa. I said no. He asked why. I didn't have a good answer. My friends stopped calling. They think I went too far. Making your parents sell their house? Over a mistake they made trying to help you? That's what they say. Like 13 years of lies is a mistake. Like betrayal is help. I eat dinner alone. Work alone. Come home to a house where my son avoids me. I have $287,000 in an account I'm too guilty to spend. And 2 parents who work in their 60s because their son sued them. I saw my mom at the grocery store last week. She was at the register, scanning items, looking tired. She saw me. Our eyes met. She looked away. I wanted to say something. Wanted to apologize. Wanted to tell her I didn't mean for it to go this far. But I didn't. Because I did mean it. I meant every bit of it. I just didn't realize winning would feel like losing. Nathan graduates high school in 5 years. He'll go to college. Probably far away. Probably somewhere he doesn't have to see me. And I'll be here, in this house, with this money, completely alone. Last week was his 14th birthday. I tried to make it special. Got him the video games he wanted. Made his favorite dinner. Invited his friends over. He was polite. Said, "Thank you." Blew out the candles. But when his friends asked about his grandparents, why they weren't there, Nathan said, "My dad sued them and they had to sell their house. So they're not invited anymore." His friends looked at me like I was a monster. Maybe I am. I'm writing this because I want people to understand. When you discover your whole life is a lie, when everyone you trust has betrayed you, you want justice. You want consequences. You want them to hurt the way you hurt. But here's what they don't tell you. Getting justice doesn't heal you. It just makes everyone hurt together. My parents are broke. My brother is gone. My ex-wife is working 2 jobs. My son barely looks at me. And I have $287,000 I can't spend because every dollar reminds me of what I destroyed to get it. Was I right to sue? Legally, yes. Morally? I don't know anymore. All I know is I had a family once. Parents who loved me. A brother I trusted. A wife I thought was faithful. A son I raised. They lied, they betrayed me, they took away 13 years of truth. And now I have money. And nothing else. People online still debate it. Half say I was justified. Half say I went too far. They're all probably right. Nathan will never forgive me. I can see it in his eyes. He understands why I'm angry. But he doesn't understand why I had to destroy everyone to prove a point. You already knew the truth, he said last night. The DNA test proved it. Why did you need to take everything from them too? Because they took everything from me first. No, they didn't. They gave you me. He's right. In their lies, their deception, their betrayal, they gave me 13 years with a son I love more than anything. A son who's not mine by blood but is mine in every way that matters. And in my quest for truth and justice and consequences, I destroyed the family that made him possible. I don't sleep anymore. I lie awake calculating. Not money this time. Time. Moments. Memories. 13 years of lies. Against 1 year of lawsuits. Was it worth it? I got my money back. Every cent. Plus interest. Plus fees. I won. But I lost my son. Lost my parents. Lost my family. Lost myself somewhere in the pursuit of being right. And now I'm the villain in my own story. The man who made his parents sell their house. The man who destroyed his family over money. The man his own son can barely stand to be around. I wanted them to know how betrayal felt. Mission accomplished. Now Nathan knows exactly how betrayal feels. Because I betrayed him by hurting the people he loves. You don't come back from this. There's no redemption arc where we all reconcile and Nathan calls me dad again with love instead of obligation. There's just this, a man with $287,000 in the bank, eating dinner alone every night, watching his son count down the days until he can leave forever. I was right. But right doesn't always mean you win. Sometimes being right just means you're alone.